good morning, my students of class 10. Right? You know that this week also we are having the offline classes and we will continue with that. So, as we were continuing with the second chapter, which is the last chapter of your syllabus for the whole year, that is the nationalism in India. So, today we are going to discuss about the Pune Pact and onwards. What happened during the Pune Pact and what was Pune Pact, and then what happened after the Pune Pact in India. In my last class, in my last video, we have talked about the situation which happened in the second round table conference, which happened at London and which was concluded without any result, because Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar, they started arguing regarding one point, that was separate electorate, right? So what was a separate electorate? Separate electorate means that if you apply for a separate electorate for a particular separate category of people, for example, if it is for the Dalits, if it is for the depressed class, then in the election only those people who are belonging in the depressed class category, they can vote or they can elect the members of the depressed class members in the particular seats. That means in a number of seats, a particular number of seats will be reserved for the depressed class. In those seats, depressed class candidates will be nominated, and for those seats only depressed class people will give the will stand for the vote and will cast the vote, right? Like you do in your school house election, like only Tagore House students, they elect the Tagore House captain, right? And the post of the Tagore House is selected for the Tagore House students. It's not like that the Tagore House students, they are being elected by the whole group of students. No. Tagore House students elect the Tagore House captain. Raman House students, they elect Raman House captain. That is what separate electorate is. You practice it every year. Not only this year, but in the previous years you have seen how the election or how the selection of captains have been done in your school, right? That is the way of a separate electorate. So, if separate electorate was granted to the depressed class, that means the depressed class people only will cast vote for the depressed class people. So, that will create a division. And Gandhiji argued that when Gandhiji and other leaders, they are actually fighting for the unity of the nation, they are fighting for a united India. B.R. Ambedkar here talking about division, B.R. Ambedkar here talking about sectarianism, right? So he rejected it, and as he rejected it, the second round table conference was a complete failure, and he came back in 1933 and he again started the civil disobedience movement. But as I said in my last video, that in the second half of the civil disobedience movement, there was no participants or very less participants. So the second phase of the civil disobedience movement was a complete failure too. But during this time, Gandhiji also started one hunger strike. Gandhiji also started his hunger strike to stop Ambedkar for appealing the separate electorates for the depressed class. And he said that until and unless Ambedkar is just withdrawing his appeal, he is going to continue his fast. And there was a huge pressure on B.R. Ambedkar that if he doesn't withdraw that, then maybe Gandhiji will die, and then the whole nation will blame B.R. Ambedkar for the death of Gandhiji. So finally in the year 1934, in the year 1932, after returning from London after the cancellation of the second round table conference, B.R. Ambedkar agreed to what Gandhiji said. He withdrew the demand of separate electorate for the depressed class. Instead, both of them, that means Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar, they agreed on a point that reserved seats will be provided to the separate to the depressed class. That means a particular number of seats will be reserved in the Legislative Assembly for the depressed class, where only depressed class people can be nominated, but they will be elected by the rest of the population. They will be elected by the whole group of people who are casting vote, not as a separate, but the reserved seat. And this decision or this demand is known as Pune Pact, or the Pune Pact of 1932 was signed between two persons, that is Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar, where Ambedkar withdrew his demand of separate electorate for the depressed class and agreed to the point that reserved seats will be granted for those people in the Legislative Assembly, right? So now with this, in the year 1934, particularly the civil disobedience movement ended. But this civil disobedience movement was not that much successful. There was some limitations of the civil disobedience movement. What are the limitations? What are the problems of the civil disobedience movement? Like, one of the very interesting problem of the civil disobedience movement is the year. Why? Because in 1930 the civil disobedience movement started. In class 9, when we were talking about Hitler, you know that from 1929 there was a fall of the American street, right? And there was a depression started in the whole world. So that also affected India and India's economy. So big merchants, big businessmen, big industrialists, they all supported civil disobedience movement. Why? Because they demanded a security from the British government during this time, during the time of depression, during the time of distress. They demanded a security from the British government, but the British government as usual rejected it. So the British Indian industrialists, they became very angry and they joined the civil disobedience movement. As the industrialists or the owners, they joined the civil disobedience movement, the workers, they did not join the civil disobedience movement. And the workers' strength is huge, you know it, right? This is one. Number two is that the Muslim population of India, which is a huge amount, who joined the first non-cooperation movement because of the Khilafat movement, they did not join in this civil disobedience movement at all. Why? Because after the failure of non-cooperation movement, they lost faith in all these mass movements. Because the Khilafat and non-cooperation movement was a complete failure, Gandhiji abruptly stopped it. So the aim of the Muslim people was not achieved. As this was faced by the Muslim people, they say that they will not join in this civil disobedience movement. Point number 2. And point number 3 is that in this civil disobedience movement, big landlords, they also joined. As the big landlords, they also joined in this civil disobedience movement. So the peasants, they did not join in the civil disobedience movement because they felt that if the landlords are there, nobody is going to hear about their grievances. These three were the major difficulties or limitations or problems of the civil disobedience movement. Otherwise, it was a mass movement, it had a great effect, and the last and the most important was the second phase. First phase was ended. Indians, they thought that Gandhiji has gone abroad and he will come very successful, but that was not done, and he came empty handed, and then again he started. So this time, in the second time, the people, they did not participate in the civil disobedience movement, right? Okay, so with this we end this class, and in my next class we will talk about the sense of collective belongingness. Thank you.